fucking spell the word right. That's what I have to say about that. So yeah, here we go up on the tubes.
Okie dokie.
The tubes. It's just fun to say.
Hey, we're there.
We are there.
Microcosm.
Yeah. I think there's all sorts of microcosms going on. In case you're watching this 50 years from now, this was the part of the pandemic where all of the dumbest people were like, yeah, we could just open up. It's going to be good. And since you're from the future, you know that the rest of the pandemic was at least 5 times worse and made them all look like idiots. Just for posterity, we know Miami Beach as an example. Greg brought this up. I'm actually in Miami Beach, of course. Everybody was allowed to go back to some parks connected to beaches, not actual beaches themselves. And with the warnings, you got to social distance and you have to wear masks. After 1,500 warnings in one day, they closed the parks back up. And Miami Beach is actually trying pretty hard to balance this the right way. Like there's been a concerted effort on the city level to actually try and get this right as much as possible. Lots to complain about, but it's clear that they're making an effort. So they just closed everything back down, and that's what is going to happen in the country, right? I started saying last week, yes, the numbers are coming down, but if you exclude New York, the numbers are going up everywhere else, and they're just at the knee of the curve. So everywhere else is exponential. New York, being such a massive number of cases, is coming down and making it look like the national level is coming down. I was worried about this a week ago. Now it's clear to literally everybody. The rest of the country's picking up.
Yeah, I can actually illustrate this. I have a graphic. No screen sharing.
Here, I can fix that.
From in the chat, can you?
Well, I just have to make you co-host. I think. I hope anyway. This new Zoom rules.
There it is. Okay, so yeah, chart on the left is New York Metro. Chart on the right is the rest of the United States.
Yeah.
We're losing a 9/11 a day. 3,000 people a day. And, in a thread yesterday.
People die all the time, Greg.
In a thread yesterday, I mentioned that the closest I've come in the last 30 years to getting my ass kicked was the day when I said, we're changing shit that we shouldn't be changing. And we as Americans should be prepared on any bright, sunny, September morning to lose 3,000 Americans in the name of democracy, because democracy is risky. And it's difficult and it's fucking dangerous. And if you do it right, it makes you vulnerable. And people wanted to kill me over saying that. So instead, we get treated to hundreds of thousands of Iraqi dead, trillions of dollars in expense, a generation or two of bad will between us and all Middle Eastern nations, and America, and the Patriot Act, and still taking off our shoes at the fucking airport. That's where we are. And this is
are you
worse
saying it didn't work?
This is far worse than that.
Yeah.
And you can't fucking stay home?
It's every day.
Damn it.
It's honestly, it's like it's I've been thinking a lot about the whole American individualistic sort of thing, right? Because it's the like you're, and I say you, like
you can.
I mean, it's but I also know that you have a functioning cerebral cortex still. Like, it's such a cultural thing. Honestly, it's the same as the guns. Like the cultural programming is so strong that logic is irrelevant.
Right.
Like it's such an intense value for some people. And then it gets socially reinforced, right? If like one person was like, no, we should be so individualistic that we let everyone die because of a pandemic so that I can go and get my haircut. If it wasn't, culturally allowed, we would just look at that guy and laugh, right? And then start fucking contact tracing like we should have been doing 3-4 months ago.
Yep.
But nope, there's enough people. There's a critical mass. There's a viral load of that level of stupidity that, causes a whole lot of problems. It's
Yeah.
just, you can't balance the idea that yes, we're all individuals and we should all have individual rights, but collectively we either deal with this as a society and a people, or it kills 2 million people.
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off you're making.
As our very wise friend Seven Bates said in an eloquent post the other day, your rights end where they endanger other people. That, why are we not having a conversation about that part of our Constitution and our civil rights? That, yeah, sure, it's fine for you to yell fire, but not in a fucking crowded theater. Like, that's not okay. That's not, there are limits to free speech and free action when they endanger other citizens. And going out willy-nilly, spreading the virus, fucking shooting security guards that tell you to put on a mask is so obviously blindingly a violation of the spirit of the Constitution that I'm having a hard time getting my head around people that are using it. I just, it's really, I'm having a difficult time today. Far angrier than I like to be. Jareen says, I misspoke on Monday. The Supreme Court of Oklahoma sided with the League of Women Voters and was successful in removing the notary requirement to file to vote by mail. That's good news.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that is good news. Yeah. Fred, we've been slaves for so long. We are deeply committed to our overlords. We hate going to work and complain about it until they say we can't. Yeah.
Well, and it goes back to something Chet's been talking about quite a lot, is that what this is really showing is that if you don't go to work, your healthcare gets turned off and you starve to death. Right? For a lot of people.
Right.
So what kind of system is that? You either have to do those things, or you're in deep kind of existential trouble.
Right.
I think that kind of gets swept under the rug. It's just kind of the way it is in a society that is rich enough where that doesn't have to be how it is. It just is.
Yeah. We've told ourselves a lot of lies about productivity and value, about economic productivity being our value as citizens. We told ourselves a lot of lies about that construct. And, I saw an interesting post this morning about, if people aren't made to go to work, they won't be productive. Well, that's a lie. Any Minecraft creator that builds amazing libraries of banned documents in foreign countries, any editor of Wikipedia, right? These are people that are productive and doing real work that they don't get compensated for. No, productivity as a part of a capitalist economic engine. We are basically putting our bodies on the bonfire to uphold some pretty unhealthy myths. Yeah.
From the CDC today, the United States nationally is in the acceleration phase of the pandemic. The duration and severity of each pandemic phase can vary depending on the characteristics of the virus, blah, blah, blah. And that's the thing. Like, they just changed the off the one model that, I was saying flat out, we should take this with a grain of salt because it presumes perfect social distancing, which never existed, and a good shutdown. So they moved to this model that, oh no, it's just going to be 100,000. Again, it's going to be 500,000. Let's be super clear about this. It's not going to be 60,000. Obviously, it's not going to stop at 100,000. We're going to run right past 100,000 like we were stopped
by June. By mid-June.
That's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be now 500,000. It will, because every single brush fire out there where they're trying to start opening up, they're going to completely and totally open up, and they're going to have really, really big problems in 50 to 100 different parts of the country in 2 to 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
And then they're going to shut down again, and some places are going to open, and some places are going to shut down, and fucking people will run around with their AK-47s like a bunch of fucking losers, and it's just going to keep grinding and getting systemically worse. The good part is that two good things, I think. One, I think this is so much more widespread if herd immunity is possible, because we're starting to see really fucking scary news of people just getting reinfected a couple weeks after,
big
which
mutations
is
going
really, really if herd, basically if you can't walk outside, if you could get an antibody card or whatever, right? Say, hey, I've already had it. I'm fine or whatever. We can't even say that that's going to work right now. But let's say that will work to an extent that's enough, right? Maybe the reinfection rate is 1% or something that is bad, but kind of statistically negligible. um, the number of cases could already be so much more widespread that instead of this going on for 18 months, it's really only bad for the next 6 months. So that's a possibility, right? Like we might actually work up to the point where there's a herd immunity because everyone fucking has it already. Right. I don't think that's true, but it's a possibility. I think
the number I saw was that we would
need
200 million Americans would need to be have it for us to get that level of immunity, right?
Yeah, because it basically means like every time it's trying to ping off somebody in the society, there's nowhere to go, because people already have it. So there's that, and then there's just the fact that there's a huge, swath of the country that's like, I'm not going out. Right? Who's gonna, go? Like apparently the cruise lines are like launching in August or something. Like, do you want to go on a cruise? It's crazy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I read this morning that there are a lot of cruise ships parked off the coast full of employees who can't get ashore.
Yeah, that's
including
dark.
Some that that are having outbreaks among the staff on the cruise ships. Why are we giving these people any kind of? First of all, they've always been a vector for shitty diseases. Cruises are the absolute worst possible thing. They're a terrible idea.
Oh, Jesus.
No, not cool.
Zoe said CBS News is reporting that restaurant workers in Texas are being told not to wear masks to work. If they do, they'll be fired. Is that fucking real?
Well, now that many states have passed laws that says you can't sue your employer if you get sick, and we're working on federal legislation that says that. So, yeah, why not? Why would they not tell you that? Yeah.
And like I was thinking about this morning too. Like they don't want to do contact tracing because, oh my God, don't track me on my phone, which is fucking funny. But even like you could make an app and just say, what if we did it voluntarily? Right? If you want to take care of, if there was a real fucking president in the White House, and like honestly, this is what Obama would be doing. He would be reaching out to, and granted, this would have been 3 fucking months ago. Hey, the people that you look at the countries that are doing the best, the ones that are doing by far the best are doing contact tracing in advance, right? So you have a tracker on your phone. You let them know when you're going outside, like in India, or it just tracks you all the time, right? And that way, if you test positive for the disease, they know everybody who you've been near. They know every phone you've been near. And so it's kind of automatic contact tracing, and instead of trying to get, you to remember what it is or whatever, you just, everybody on that list gets pinged and said, hey, you're going to want to get a test, blah, 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 blah. And really work to quarantine yourself before that happens. So these are places where economies are actually getting back and running, because you don't have to quarantine everyone. You just have to quarantine the people that are sick, and you can track back to find out, who you got close to or whatever. You can, and again, like Americans, I think it's a small amount actually. There's a small amount they're like, oh my God, I'm a fucking idiot who doesn't understand how conspiracy theories work or whatever, right? Fine. Or you're just hyper individualistic and whatever, right? I think you could probably get 60 to 70% of Americans to do that because they would want to help each other.
Right.
And that's, and if you had leadership that was like, hey, why don't we try to fucking help each other? People get into that. Americans get into that. I think a plurality of Americans get into that. Because right now we're seeing the dumbest of the dumb get all the airtime because they will get people killed. Yeah. It's cool. Everything's fine. Fucking CBS.
Yeah, have you seen the meme going around that says Facebook says wearing masks is more dangerous than going without? No, but it doesn't surprise me. This morning, Joni had a post up, and Joni Hepsworth from Paperback Exchange Bookstore. By the way, they are open with strict social distancing and hours by appointment for those who are vulnerable to COVID. So that's on a great bookstore right here in town in Port Richey on Ridge Road. But anyway, Joni had a thread up this morning, and I posted, she posted something about Dr. Fauci, something he had said, and I posted, oh, look at him just shilling for big science, and no one could tell I was kidding. That's how dumb we've gotten in this moment. Nobody could tell it was sarcasm. I apparently I need to go outside for a while, because all this week I had a great time. Every time somebody posted an article about the Blue Angels flyover of their town, I would post chemtrails in big capital letters. And now that they're on the 5G plan, we're going to use the Blue Angels to lure people outside to get exposed to chemtrails. So,
I mean, that just makes sense to me. I mean, that's just obviously true.
oh my God, with the fact that people are not like,
Oh,
yeah, to be fair,
to be
people that don't
fair.
know me very well, but yeah, they weren't sure I was fucking around until I put sarcasm under it. So yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, too bad
It's
the autistic nationalist isn't here, because I did want to bring up the rocket situation, which is like I sent Greg some good news. I think it was this morning. Feels like 9 years ago. About SN4, which again, their nomenclature after BFR is everything's gonna suck. But just going serial number 4, like that's dumb. Anyway, so it did its static fire thing last night for 4 seconds and didn't blow up. So it's all good.
They should have just named it BWTM. But wait, there's more.
See, that's pretty good. But wait, there's more. Like, and again, that's the same kind of naming that Ian Banks would have totally loved for his ships, which is how they're naming all the drones, the drone ships.
Speaking of SpaceX and names, did I get this right? Elon Musk named his son some
Yeah, I
weird...
didn't. I saw that headline, and I don't know if it's confirmed, but none of it would shock me at this point.
He's been very strange lately.
Yeah.
I think the NASA pressure is getting to him.
I don't know. The like, I think being wrong about the pandemic's hopefully getting to him, because he really shit the bed on that multiple times in a row. But yeah, like that. Well, and he's been working nonstop for about 12 years. So if he cracks, that's not going to surprise me all that much. But
yeah, Elizabeth Wood, his and Pence's refusal to wear masks seems to be a visual dog whistle. Exactly so. He called the people that showed up in Michigan with body armor, face masks, and guns the other day good people, just like he did after Charlottesville.
Yes, he did. They're very fine people.
Oh my God. Dave Myers, it was Taco Tuesday yesterday, so I did a static fire test of my own for 4 seconds last night. Yeah, I saw one today about scientists make a sound so loud it can boil water. I was like, yeah, my bad. Sorry. It was
farts are loud.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah. The Brinkman is in the thread this morning. Nice to see you, Kathy. Glad you're here. Kawasaki disease. Yeah, children who have COVID are coming up with enlarged arterial systems.
Yeah, what? I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, I don't have a link to it, but that's
that seems not good. No, they're asymptomatic. Yeah. They're not. This is one of the other things, that details that kind of got me. So when you get the COVID pneumonia, right? It's creating the blockages in your lungs. It's also stopping the signal that you're like, because basically the carbon dioxide leaving your body, it's still working. Right. So it's stopping the oxygen coming in. And it's really like, if you hold your breath, what causes a massive amount of discomfort is not the lack of oxygen. It's the buildup of CO2. Right. So if you don't feel the buildup of CO2, you're walking into a hospital saying like, I feel really, really tired. And you're still on your cell phone or whatever. And your pulse ox is fucking 50 where you should be unconscious. Right. Because it's happened gradually over time or whatever. And that's why people are in the waiting areas of these hospitals, sometimes destabilizing and dying within hours, because their pulse ox is like stupid low. Right. So there's a bunch of weird shit with this disease that is, it's all going to come out yet. But yeah.
Okay. So the headline I woke up to this morning that I found so disturbing, and I have a feeling I want to know more about this situation because it's really deeply disturbing. But researcher on the verge of very significant coronavirus findings shot to death at in Pennsylvania. It looks like a murder suicide. I think we're going to find out it was probably domestic violence. I think that's probably where that's going to go. But it's like, the security guard got into my heart for telling someone to put a mask on. She spit at him, then she left, came back with her dad, and they shot him in the head for telling someone to mask up. I can't. There are things that I find believable but disappointing, and there are things that I find unbelievable. and the security guard, father of 8. This death is riding heavy on my heart today. Trying to keep people safe and fucking murdered for doing so. I'm just it's really disappointing. Deb Marcotte, documentary up on Netflix today, Michelle Obama's book Becoming. Can't wait to watch it. Hey, nice.
Yeah, Michelle really wants to watch that too, and I can't lie, I will not be unexcited.
Also, I saw the Obamas, Barack and Michelle are going to be like live streaming a commencement address on the 16th together. They're like a nationally broadcast thing. It'll be nice to see somebody act presidential again, and Barack too.
Yeah, I've seen Michelle Obama floated as Veep, and now I've seen Barack Obama floated as Supreme Court judge, and I like all of it.
That's not bad.
Fantastic.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg is in the hospital.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I was gonna bring it up, and then I was like, I don't want to bring it up. RBG, all hail Baby Yoda, please be fine. And I'm sorry that this is all on you. That's bullshit. You've
Fred,
done
absolutely.
lots.
Yep. Peripherally a COVID death, the security guard. It is. It
is.
It's an outcome because of this, specifically because of this thing.
It's an outcome because, again, can anyone imagine what their Facebook feed looks like? Because I can.
Right. Kathy Brinkman says, I've actually said that it seems similar for a while to the Kawasaki disease syndrome. That's the strokes in children syndrome. Strokes the adults were having reminded me of it. My nephew had Kawasaki, which is how I knew a little bit about it. Interesting.
I know nothing about it, but I will Google it later. Thank you. We did start watching Miss America yesterday on the Hulu.
Yeah, I don't have Hulu now. So.
About the Equal Rights Amendment and Gloria Steinem and it's really well done.
Yep. Well, yeah, we've been working our way through Mad Men, which I had never watched as a first run series, and the jarring treatment of women in the workplace is just
this sexism is just like, what the fuck?
And in watching how the women cope with it, right? How Jane and how they cope with it is fascinating watch. Yeah. Good show, really good show. Also, The Last Kingdom on Netflix. I've sawed through three seasons of that, or 2.5 seasons of that in the last, I don't know, 72 hours. I'm actually really enjoying that one.
I love that show.
There's a whole lot of that, like the American knowledge of that is Vikings raided the English coast and killed people. We don't think a whole lot about the Danes' permanent presence in northern England and how that led to a unified England. Knew about Alfred and his big victory over them.
And Ireland.
I knew the name Ethelred the Unready because that's just the funniest kingly name I think there ever has been. But don't remember why he got that sobriquet. So I'm sure we'll find that out in the course of the show.
We should have a coffee cheers.
Yeah.
Coffee cheers. Wee.
I love you, man.
Love you back.
Bless you. Laugh Track's having a sneeze attack over there.
Well, shit.
It's always super effective when the atheist in the house blesses you.
I mean, it does exactly the same as when a religious person blesses you.
Sorry, Dave. A very close member of my family passed away over the weekend peripherally from COVID, specifically COVID-related protocols. I'm not sure what protocols is, but
protocols.
I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe so.
Protocols, Greg?
Yeah, maybe. Is that what it is?
Yeah, protocol.
It is.
Protocol.
I'm squinting. I don't have my glasses at my desk.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that was always going to be a huge risk, right? I mean the amount of hospital healthcare stuff that's getting taken up with how they're having to deal with it.
Right.
Legit. Well, and not being able to get elective surgeries, and again, elective surgeries is like removing cancers, and there's a lot of elective quote unquote surgeries.
Yeah, the clinic my mom was scheduled at has already called her about her eye surgery, which is not it's not mandatory. It's an elective surgery, but they're already trying to reschedule her. Yeah.
Mom said, I started
it.
watching Mad Men as well. I'm not as flabbergasted because I was fighting for women's rights in the 60s, was a secretary at the time. Yeah, Mom, we were talking about you and Gail a lot while watching Miss America
Yep.
yesterday because it's all about that.
Yeah, and my mom, who was out working in an office environment in the mid to late 60s in an architectural office, and none of it was surprising to her when she watched. This is exactly how the men in her office were. Yeah,
Morning,
yes,
Dave.
protocols. He should have been taken to the hospital, but was not because they were only taking life and death people. Fuck.
Brutal. Sorry, Dave. That
so
sucks,
sorry,
donkey balls.
Dave Eichenberger, good to see you in here. Yeah,
Dave, you don't
no,
have to
your
shut up, man.
bitterness is well understood and welcome. We get it. We get it. We get it.
All hail, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. I was able to give Dave Eichenberger and Julie Black a drive-by hug the other day. They did a front porch concert on Sunday and live streamed it, and I happened to be driving by to go to my mom's house.
They're awesome.
And so got to stop and wave at them out the car window. That was a good thing. Always good to see them. And people actually properly social distancing in their front yard. You know what I mean? Like people were, their neighbors all came out of their houses and sat on the front porches and watched. So that was kind of cool. It was nice to see. Yeah. We're reopening too soon. I mean, anybody want to argue with me about that?
Nope. So
good point. Don Rodriguez makes the point. Those types of deaths probably not even being counted.
No,
I think that's probably accurate.
No.
Yeah,
this is one from. Go ahead.
No, yeah, Elizabeth, we were talking about that earlier about it being a dog whistle. I don't know, maybe it was even you that said that. It's definitely a dog whistle. It's telling people that they're right to be running around without masks on.
Well, and how many of those are there, right? Like they again, like you lead by example, and in every single way, he's the wrong example,
right?
He's like, well, the president doesn't have to wear one, so why the fuck would I? This is all a hoax anyway, which is exactly what he fucking called it out loud in English.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what it reminds me of, the whole barefaced political thing is the rolling coal, the guys that had smoke generators installed on their diesel trucks to own the libs. It's the same kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Same kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
A little bit.
These are the same people that are showing up armed at state capitals are the ones that, you know, were passing laws in their states that it would be okay to run over protesters if they blocked a highway.
Yeah,
that's a real thing. That's a thing that actually happened. You know, Standing Rock protesters were tear gassed and beaten and arrested, and had dogs sicked on them by private security firms, not by law enforcement. And you know, Black Lives Matter protesters have been fired on by police, and called rioters. But you can show up at the state capitol wearing camouflage and a mask and a body armor and an AK-47. That's perfectly okay. Because they're white.
I mean,
because I said
that's just accurate.
Post a picture of a black guy, and I'm going to go, okay, but he's in the I want to belong with the white people club. So, you know,
that's just true. 2 Utah businesses instructed staff to ignore quarantine guidelines, resulting in 68 cases. At one of the businesses, half of the employees got it. And again, like I always think about the timeline, this is probably within days. The thing is, like the Rachel Maddow I was listening to this morning, she's on the local news stations covering the outbreaks that are happening at Tyson food plants, which again will be a microcosm of stuff in the food chain. And now everything that's opening up, and we're seeing all these things where people are just talking about flouting the rules. Small towns are going to get overrun, like deeply overrun. These are places where a few people get it, so they finally test everyone. Half the fucking people at plants that have 1,500 people in it are all tested positive. Well, very few of them are in the hospital yet because it's literally that early, and it usually takes a couple weeks to get into the hospital for most people, right? So right now we're in the hyperinfection phase that's been around for 2 weeks, where the knee of the curve is bending in middle America, and 2 weeks from now the hospitals are all going to be overrun. And this is like with, because it's all a 2 week lag, right? So this is with most of the close up protocols are being in place 2 weeks after that is when we're going to see the results of what's going on right now. Because I do think it, like, the one thing we could say before is no matter what we did, like there was a 2-week lag. I think because of the way things are working now, it's going to be about a month, maybe 3 weeks, just because the RO, an example in New York, was like 5. It was fucking ridiculous. Population density, and nobody was doing social distancing. Nobody was wearing masks. None of that stuff. I think because of the training that human beings have and the fact that a lot of people want to do the right thing, I think it's probably only going to be about 2, but that's still exponential. And so,
yeah, I didn't save a link to this, but the cities in America with the 10 cities with the highest infection rates currently all have meatpacking plants in them, or are the primary employers in those cities.
And that's the thing. They stayed open.
Yeah.
Right. So we're seeing what happens.
And we had already,
if you stay open.
Let me back up for a minute and say we had already reduced government oversight in those meatpacking plants over the last 3 years during the Trump administration. Less inspectors, less inspection, less process. Oh, they'll self-police, which we always hear about industry, and it never turns out to be true. So they've done absolutely nothing to keep their employees safe, and now their employees are fucking sick and dying, and many of them, and the whole towns that support those places. And this is not an anti-meat diatribe. You know, I'm a meatitarian. It's a personal choice.
Meatitarian.
But like funny. Something like 1,000 Wendy's stores ran out of hamburgers last week.
Yeah, and it's like, eat some fucking rice, dude. I'm serious. Like the people want choice, whatever. I fucking want choice too. That's a thing that exists. But like, people are dying, dude. Like, yeah, there might not be bacon for a month. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, like, that's sacrilege, right? I'm a fucking crazy person. But I mean, World War II, 400,000 people died, if I'm not mistaken, in combat, right?
Americans?
Yeah, we're gonna pass it, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yep.
And all preventable. Fucking, we could have been South Korea. We could have been New Zealand. And under Obama or Clinton, we would have been to some extent, right? Like, that, not perfectly, but it'd be really, really different than it is now.
Yeah.
To the point of,
day 10 of the infection is when most hospitalization starts, says Casey Marion. Thank you, Casey. Yeah, Elizabeth says that's Eugenia Debs in the thread, by the way. Weld County, Colorado, 1,995 cases, home of J.B. Swift. There's a packing plant in Weld County. I think that's the county right next to her, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm just going to police myself from now on and see how it goes. There you go. Not so for Janesville, Beloit area, number 9 on the list, just under 100,000 population, 30 to 45 minutes south of Madison, Wisconsin, just near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Wow. I cannot survive a month without bacon. I bet you can.
Yeah, you could. You literally could. And this is the thing, like, if you knew for sure that going without bacon would save one human life for a month, you'd do it.
Yep.
You wouldn't even think about it.
Unless it was mine.
Maybe.
I wouldn't go without bacon to save my own life. I don't.
Well, clearly. Yeah. No, somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the other thing? It was, Casey Marion brings up that it would be like Ebola under Obama in the United States. You know what? I had somebody the other day post some crazy bullshit. You already unfriended this person, but I haven't yet. About how 34,000 people died of Ebola, and the president. No, you know how many people in America died of Ebola?
Wasn't it like 2?
12.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, wait, there were 12. You're right. There were 2 fatalities, 12 cases total.
Yeah.
So where are people getting these numbers? 34,000.
Fucking Fox News.
It's not, I don't even think there were 34,000 cases of Ebola in the world. Well, there probably were, but certainly not in the United States. And guess why? Because we had a robust system of canaries and coal mines in foreign countries working to keep the disease out of our country, to keep people who were sick from spreading it to our country. And it still failed, but it failed only because like a couple of people slipped through, and we caught it right away because we had a robust system for seeing these things, identifying them over there, keeping them out of here, which the president of the United States, current, dismantled it. So there you go. Fred Eater. I'm a devoted I think Fred and I should hang out. I'm a devoted carnivore. I am happy to skip pork chops if it can save lives. I can eat rice. Vegetables are evil, though. Yeah. Michelle, did you see Jacksonville yesterday? Police couldn't control the crowds at some restaurants, had to shut it down. Those people were saying they don't care about masks or distancing in interviews. Yeah, this is, even if the restaurant is only letting in 25%, quarter capacity. There's people standing outside. We have one restaurant locally, one restaurant that's posted on social media that what they're going to do is they want you to call them a half hour before your intended dining time, and they'll tell you if they have room, and they'll tell you what time to come. One. I saw one restaurant doing that. Ironically, it's named the Social on Main Street.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of room too.
Yeah.
So India started opening up, and that's not going well.
Yeah. Oops, sorry, I got too much stuff going on my desk here. You see where America values are: all lives matter and pro-life. For the precise moment you can't get your nails done or buy a bacon cheeseburger, nothing matters. Petulant toddlers. That's pretty accurate.
Yep.
I
think petulant toddlers is probably even the nicest way you can put it.
Yeah, I like your mom's plan. I skipped bacon this morning and had chocolate chip pancake or chocolate chip cookies instead.
Oh my god, I haven't had sugar in quite some time, and my brain just went like.
I haven't been able to catch Maddo lately. I don't have Hulu currently, and I haven't been watching it or listening to it as a podcast.
Oh yeah, because you don't do audio podcasts.
I do, but when I'm driving, and I haven't been doing much driving, so it's
you could do it while Minecrafting though. Except you're probably watching those fucking YouTube nerds when you're Minecrafting.
No, who would do that?
Lies. Oh man.
So yeah. What about people who, when Colin Kaepernick was protesting, said he was getting paid to play football, not protest? Yeah. Well, didn't most people get paid to stay home? Yep. Although I got to tell you, by the time my COVID check lands, I'll be just about breaking even on bills I have to pay because we've lost some revenue at work. Yeah, at a women's prison. Sorry, I don't remember where. 195 inmates, 193 tested positive. That's the other devastating vector besides nursing homes at this point is going to be jails and prisons. We're going to see riots and deaths over that for sure.
So can I nerd out on a chart for you guys for a second?
Right.
Let's share it here. Because I've been I've got just a little caveat. I have a short going on Robinhood. By the way, you should throw your Robinhood link out there, G Money.
Yeah.
If anyone feels like supporting the show and getting a free stock, which is super fun. So let me get rid of this one. So I was really interested in a short after it drops below this, because this is the main drop, and so this is what this rise right here. They were basically saying this is the biggest thing that's ever happened, in the biggest month-long raise in the stock market's history. Some fucking ridiculous thing, right? Anything to be hopeful. And so it breaks this. This is a very aggressive trend line. So it breaks this, and I opened a very small short position, right? Just because I want confirmation. And it looked like it was starting to obey this line as well, right? You see it bouncing off here and here and here and here and here. So when it broke through that one, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna probably have to get a bunch more. So I totally did. And I keep worrying about it because it goes from here to here. Oh my God, everything's opening back up. The economy is going to be amazing. This is the best thing ever. The news yesterday was Dow jumps like crazy because everybody's really, really excited that things are opening up. And I'm do they not understand what's going to happen? They don't. Unemployment is at 30 million, right? And oil's up because there's rumor that there might be more demand. Anyway, so I'm pretty comfortable with my position, but even just it's hilarious how if you look at the financial news, any rise at all, and oh my God, everything's fine, we're going to be fine, everything's fine. The id of Wall Street is on full display all the time, right? The upside bias, meaning people really, really want the stock market to go up.
Yeah.
So the news feeds them that, right? And of course, the second that it's bad news, the sky is falling, yada, yada, yada. But then the second there's any reason to hope whatsoever, like that, honestly, kind of explains how Trump is. He's basically just, sort of what would happen if America had an ego in a blender.
Yeah.
With a bunch of hamburgers. Anyway, so, yeah, market's going to tank. Probably. So that's fun.
Yeah, I'm really worried about my my portfolio.
Yeah.
Which is worth $17.04. Oh, 1706, 1708. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I love the stock market.
There it is. Right.
Yeah, I have two shares of Sirius Internet Radio and Sirius Satellite Radio, and one share of something called WPX Energy. So
yeah, the WPX Energy is probably up. Yeah, Casey said now the plan is to ship pork along with chicken to China to be butchered and finished product shipped back. That sounds terrible.
That's actually absolutely true. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome idea.
Yeah. So Bitcoin's up a bit, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how many times have I been saying, like, I expected or have been waiting for Bitcoin to act in an inverse way than the stock market? Because that's kind of
right.
Like if you buy into the philosophy of why it exists, that should kind of be how, how that works. But it really hasn't been. It's actually been pinned. They've been correlated, right? So the stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes up, and vice versa for the last little while to a certain extent. So whether or not this is the grand decoupling, it is true that the halvening is happening very soon. And that usually comes about a year before the really sort of irrational spikes in Bitcoin's price.
Right.
Or 6 months to a year. So that's a whole thing.
Irrational Spikes is the name of my my punk rock band.
Nice.
That's what I would do if I were a musician.
But yeah, I usually try and do the opposite. So like Irrational Spikes would be the name of your Taylor Swift cover band.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, my Dixie Chicks cover band, the Irrational Spikes.
Yes. I like it.
They got a new album out.
Do they really?
Yeah. Also, the Indigo Girls have a new record out, and Sarah Jaros has a new album out. So there's lots of good music happening right now. Sarah Jaros, you're a dick. You should definitely be listening to her.
I'm sorry.
She's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I believe you. You usually have good taste in music.
Yeah, I am the reason Corey does a Sturgill Simpson song in his set.
That is a fact. That's a real thing.
That don't think you would have ever heard that if I hadn't played it for you.
No.
So we got that going for us. Let's see. My portfolio is well diversified and pretty well protected. Fully expected the Trump crash looming at any moment. That's Casey Marion. Sue Gentry made $18 on the Bitcoin you gave her. Nice.
Nailed it. Speaking of which, it's been a couple weeks. We got to do the Tiger King thing. I've been kind of shitting the bed on that. I couldn't get into it either. Like that's sort of like we wanted to give it an extra week, then I was traveling and whatever.
I just can't believe anybody watched that whole fucking show and thought Carol Baskins was the bad guy. Like,
I mean,
what?
Yeah, I didn't.
I also heard that
I think she is a bad guy because honestly, like she probably did it, but at the same time, like there are other bad people.
I also read yesterday that there's going to be a television series version of the limited series version of that show, and Nicolas Cage is going to play what's his name, the Tiger.
Are you serious? Yeah. Is that real?
It's real. Oh, I saw a thing yesterday, and all my science nerdy friends got very excited. They're going to make The Right Stuff into a series. Tom Wolfe's book about the Mercury 7 astronauts. Yeah, somebody's making The Right Stuff into a series.
Okay, here's something else. SpaceX and NASA have confirmed that Tom Cruise is going to be filming a movie on the space station and in space.
Yeah. Did you get the message did I post that and just tag you in it last night? The thing about whenever you think about shooting someone, launching someone into the sun, you should instead think about launching them out of the solar system because it takes less fuel. I got less delta V to get.
So I started wondering, like, how could that be possible? And the only thing that I could think of is that you could, like, all things being equal, because our orbital velocity of at where Earth is enough to obviously defeat the sun's gravity, which is what, like, I kind of think, like, why wouldn't it be easier just to kind of push it towards the sun and have it, have its orbit erode, and then it just shows up there. But then I was thinking you could go to the backside of the Earth and use the Earth's spin to get another bit of angular momentum, and then have it shoot out in a straight line.
Right. Why you got to bring Alberta into this backside of the Earth? Sorry, that's just speaking of.
What are you talking about?
Backside of the Earth, like
is Alberta?
Earth. I don't know. I just was, just felt like picking on Canada, and Alberta seemed like a lot an obvious.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna pick on Canada, Alberta is where it starts.
That's the joke. And by the way, it's always funnier when we delve into and explain the joke.
In point of fact, it is infinitely funnier the more you explain that explaining the joke is funny.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Apparently, there's a new Twilight book coming out. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm with Stephen King on that one.
Although
Harry Potter is a much better series than the Twilight series. Because
just,
Twilight was about the importance of
obvious.
having a boyfriend, and Harry Potter was about the importance of having friends.
I kind of feel like Twilight was about the importance of having two boyfriends.
Oh my. Okay, Trace 1974 full album, free music tip for Greg and Corey. Thank you, Bubblebees. He has joined us today. That's nice. Let's visit Regina.
Regina. Mom said stupid.
And you're laughing too.
Yeah, because I had the song immediately going on in my head. Mom said I read that Romney came out of the GOP luncheon with a whiteboard saying blue states aren't the only ones being screwed. Anyone else hear that? I've not.
No. I mean, okay, but they pay less into the system than blue states do, so they're not as screwed.
Okay. I watched, or rather listened to a little bit of Cuomo's thing yesterday. And it's hilarious that he can just sort of like be an actual proactive, relatively competent person in leadership.
Yeah.
And it is a deep, abiding insult to Donald Trump every time he does it.
Speaking of deep, abiding insults to Donald Trump, Donald Trump, whatever. Yeah, the morning.
You gonna play it?
The Morning in America ad. I should, huh?
I think so. I've heard that it is quite interesting.
Yeah, well, it's a play on Morning
Reagan.
in America.
Yeah.
Like it's Morning in America. It was a Ronald Reagan ad, I believe.
It was a Ronald Reagan ad, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a play on that.
Michelle fought me on this. His slogan was "Make America Great Again." And sometimes he would say, "Let's make America great again." She thought it was like "Make America Great." Nope. Make America Great again.
Yeah. Okay. You guys got the screen?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hit the share audio button. Hang on.
How fucking dare you?
I know, right? Let me try that again. Let's share computer sound. Screen 2, share. Yeah, here we go. Let's try that again. Ready?
Gone.
There's morning in America. Today, 15 million men and women won't have the opportunity to go to work. Businesses shuttered. 2,900 families will have their homes foreclosed by nightfall.
Wow.
This afternoon, 6,000 men and women will be married, each of their children to be born with a $30,000 share of the runaway national debt. Our government is now taking over the choices we once made in life. There's morning in America. Under the leadership of President Obama, our country is fading and weaker and worse off. His policies were a grand experiment. Policies.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think I clicked on the wrong link.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my god!
I thought that sounded kind of tilted.
Yeah,
but
that's a parody.
It's clear who they copied.
Here it is. Sorry, guys. Let's try this again.
How fucking dare you?
Oh, jeez. I'm telling you, you should fire me. You're totally
Yeah.
fine with me. All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
You there?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything.
Oh. Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
we were all just hanging out by ourselves.
I'm just gonna give up on this. Is what I'm
No,
gonna
do it. I believe in you. Not a lot, but enough.
But why? Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. Let's
Because
try that again.
I don't give a fuck about evidence. Just kidding.
Yeah.
You're the best.
God damn it.
Third time's a charm, or
I'm-
seventh, whatever number this is.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's all getting us closer to 11 o'clock. So yeah. I set it all up and hit play and forgot to hit the share button.
Make
So-
it happen.
There's morning in America. Today, more than 60,000 Americans have died from a deadly virus Donald Trump ignored. With the economy in shambles, more than 26 million Americans are out of work, the worst economy in decades. Trump bailed out Wall Street, but not Main Street. This afternoon, millions of Americans will apply for unemployment. And with their savings run out, many are giving up hope. Millions worry that a loved one won't survive COVID-19. There's mourning in America. And under the leadership of Donald Trump, our country is weaker and sicker and poorer. And now, Americans are asking, if we have another 4 years like this, will there even be an America?
Paid for by the Lincoln Project, which is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Oof.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to me that will there be an American question? I thought I was the only freak having that
Yeah,
feeling.
apparently you were not. I think it's entirely justifiable. So hey, did you hear the administration's going to phase out the coronavirus task force now?
Yeah, because problem solved.
Yeah, we're done.
It's all good.
It's fucking awesome.
It's all
Yeah,
it's
well,
all good.
dipshit goes down to Arizona because fuck the stay-at-home rules. And he gets to Arizona on their highest death rate day ever. So that's just like it. I mean, how many times? I think this is why doing this gets so frustrating, right? Because like we've said all this before. We said it during impeachment. We've said all the things that we're saying a million times. This is the worst, and they're like, it can't get any worse. You know how they got out of the Great Depression, Craig?
Massive job creation programs and direct aid to families.
Big old war. Big old war.
Yeah, we were already kind of on the way when the war when America went to war.
Maybe.
Yeah. By 1938, 39, when we started shipping stuff overseas for England, Poland, and Russia, we were
largest new employer by far was the U.S. military.
Yeah.
And again, like if well, as an example, if Bernie was president, there would be a massive mobilization on a Green New Deal.
Yep. Yeah, Michelle, remember after the election when his supporters told us what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, and we told them no, it's way worse.
Yeah, we said super fucking bad, and we were wrong by 2 orders of magnitude at how bad. So that's fun.
Yeah, interestingly, Drew Curtis, my friend on Facebook who founded Fark.com, the humor site that I've been member of for decades. He reposted a tweet of his from late 2016 the other day that said, "Hey, let's time travelers, let's all look back and remember that 2016 was as good as it was going to be for a while." He was not wrong. He was not wrong. Yep.
So
Regina. Oh my God, I just got rid of the Regina earworm. Yeah, welcome to our show.
Fred is intimating that California is reopening because they're the first state to borrow from the federal government to make unemployment payments, and that he thinks they might be linked.
I'm not sure how to process that.
Yeah, there isn't enough evidence for me to say this is happening.
Right.
But it's interesting because Fred's usually fairly evidence based.
It'd be Fred Krueger, right?
Fred Krueger, yes.
Right. Okay. Boy, is the Fed actually going to loan them the money?
Yeah,
with Trump shitting down the throats of blue states all over the place.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like the you're and one of the commenters on the post said we're all Ukraine now. Fuck.
Ginny, anyone else worried about global warming and coffee? Oh my God.
I am now. God damn it.
Murder hornets, coffee shortages.
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. What was the other thing that I saw today that made me go, what? Oh, well, the whole, Siberia is on fire. That's a thing. And we're, looks at calendar, 24 days from hurricane season.
Well, that's awesome. Fred said, if you need to feel a little inspiration in my podcast for the week, we'll do it. I promise. Fred, get a link and throw it in there.
Please. Yep. You can actually message it to one of us on Facebook Messenger. We'll pop it in there if you can't get the link to work. So
yep. And if it's too long, use tinyURL.
Nice.
Good promo, Fred. Fucking nailed it.
Cinco de Mayo on Taco Tuesday, except Cinco de Mayo is an American holiday. You know what they do for Cinco de Mayo in Mexico?
Go to work.
They go to work. It's not a thing down there. So
a murder hornet, COVID, hurricane. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like it's
they're not unless they come from the Murder region of France. They're not murder hornets. They're just
that's not as funny as you think it is.
It is. It's hilarious.
I mean, I respect the attempt, but
it's a meme that runs, for many subjects. It's a long running thing.
I get it.
Yeah. Give Fred a spanner. That means a wrench in European, and let Fred post a link in the chat.
We just said he should just post it in the chat. Yeah. I don't think he needs a wrench for that.
I think he does. I don't think you can post links unless you are a moderator.
What? Really?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, well, fucking A. I'll make him a moderator.
There you go.
And also, thank you, BobaViz. I was not aware of that. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the wrench. I suck,
yep.
BobaViz.
Yep.
I was not like, why are you talking about a wrench? It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, because there's a wrench right next to Tareen's name.
Yep. Words did drive through Taco Bell, you rebel, you. Ginny. They went to Taco Bell. Yeah. We had Burger King because Viva la Mexico. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. I've been only eating healthy food for like a couple weeks now, or a week and a half. It feels like a month. I'm so hard.
Thank you very much, Jareen. Appreciate it. Deb, I made fajitas before I realized it was Cinco de Mayo. I had no idea it was Tuesday. Fajitas are actually Texan. They're actually Tex-Mex, not Mexican. So, but technically, Texas was part of Mexico for a couple of centuries. So
I was gonna say, like, wasn't it part of Mexico for longer than it's been Texas?
Well, I don't. But my favorite thing to say to the English first people is, in Florida, Spanish was spoken for 200 years before English was.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing? What's happening right now? What's going on?
I was giving a little sunshade to my.
Oh yeah.
It didn't work. It didn't do anything. But
yeah.
Try it anyway. Yep. Oh man. So.
Yeah. Boxer Cat, I checked in with work. I'm on unemployment indefinitely. Sales are bad. Damn. Wow. That's not good.
This is the thing. Like, how could it possibly be that sales anywhere would be good. You know, that even where they tried to open the mall, nobody showed up. Like that,
Yeah.
you know, I think it while they are super loud and dumb when they show up in, you know, in their hundreds on the lawns with guns and all that shit, I don't think there's that many of them. So yeah, Michelle just said real estate sucks. I can only imagine. Like we sold our house, we closed and finalized our house 2 days before the lockdown started. We were like, fucking wow, which is crazy.
All right, well, it is 11 o'clock. And I wish I could tell you I have a big giant plan of stuff to do today. I actually do have some work stuff to do, but it's very exciting. Minecraft, TV binging, naps. Pretty much that's what I'm doing. We might go for a drive in the country tomorrow. We might take a drive out just to go out and see some scenery, fly by, moo at some cows, stuff like that.
Moo.
Yeah. Do you know there's a plugin for Minecraft that the villagers, instead of saying "Mah, mah," all the time, go hello?
I did not know that, and I shouldn't be surprised. I am not surprised.
Michelle, Dave Myers, everything sucks. Balloon
emoji. We couldn't let that go. There's a balloon emoji in it. It's fantastic. So yeah.
All right. So
Friday, Ginny said you can't see a cow and not say moo.
Right. It's bovinitis. The Rich Hall, who used to do what did he call them? The little definitions of things. Rich Hall was a comedian, and he used to do, but yeah, he called that bovinitis, the urge to lean your head out the window and moo at cows. I
resemble that.
Yeah, we don't have any kind of restriction like that here, Boxer, about staying within 10 miles of home, so we're going to go for a drive, get out in the country and roll down the windows and listen to some loud music. I think that's the plan.
Oh man, high temp was in the 40s yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to cool off a little bit here. Our high will only be in the mid 70s. It's been in the 80s for a few days solid here now. So this will probably be the last pulse of cool air we get before summer really sets in. Also, I mentioned hurricane season before, and not to panic anybody, but I'm not going to be at all surprised if we get an early tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico, because it's looking pretty juicy out there, hot and juicy. Not a good, that's good in some circumstances, but
for
tropical weather, it's not.
Yeah. It's not idea.
No. I mean, it is ideal for hurricanes, but not for people that live near where they might happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, Fred. Thanks for the show today. This is always helpful. My day starts with Sandy. It helps. Thank you for that comment. Because there's definitely times where, like, if I have to talk about fucking Trump news for 5 more seconds, I'm gonna start banging my head against the brick wall. So it's good to know. It's really, really good to know that it's, providing some tiny little bit of value to anyone.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, hey, I wanted to say to Casey Marion, thank you so much for sending me pictures of the idyllic area around your place yesterday. It was nice. I got some pictures of Casey's her farm and some animals and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Juicy. That is a new adjective I didn't expect for tropical weather. Congrats.
That's right.
And accurate, Mr. Dave Myers.
That's right.
And seriously, Dave, sorry about all that shit that's going on. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's
false.
Not cool at all.
No.
Yeah, Boxer, it's a little more. It's more difficult here. We're much more suburbanized than where you are, I would imagine. So we can find cool places, but you got to go a little further than 10 miles, other than parks, which are now not, they're open, but you can't use the picnic facilities and things like that there. So, yeah. So, I want to go see some water tomorrow. I want to drive somewhere where I can stare at the water for a while. Maybe we'll go out to Ozello out there on the coast up near Crystal River and hang out on the causeway.
I have been a total freaking Nazi about staying home, and even yesterday was like, Michelle, maybe we should like steal onto the beach in the middle of the night, when there is legitimately no one around.
You'll seal up your car like the lunar excursion module. Just go for a drive somewhere where you can at least sit in the car and stare.
Well, this is the thing. She convinced me, and again, it was because she hadn't seen anybody, and I really didn't feel comfortable about it, and still kind of don't. We went and hung out with her parents over the weekend. It was really, really good for Babs though, because she hasn't even been outside, and her mom set her up. They've got a whole yard, and the dog got to wander around, so it was good. But fucking, hey,
Yeah, I'm feeling that way for my mom, who is, she doesn't live with anybody.
Right.
She lives alone. Her neighbors are having happy hour on the porch every day with a bunch of people, and she's not going over there. So, it's just
Good.
like
Sad,
but she's feeling kind of lonely. And so I
Yeah.
went to visit her the other day, not for business purposes. She said, "Will you come sit on my porch 10 feet away and let's just talk?" So I did that for a while,
Oh,
and it was nice to see my mom. So
cool.
may even convince her to go with us tomorrow. It's possible. We'll see how that goes.
All right. Yeah, Fred said go for a drive and listen to some podcasts. Wink,
Yeah,
wink, nudge, nudge is implied.
Some radical spikes.
All
All right, guys, we love you very much. We appreciate you joining us. And it does make us feel good when you tell us this is important to you, because there are days when we kind of go, what the hell? Oh, we're really going to get on and just, yep, everything still sucks. The president's still a fucking asshole. And our country may be dying. Back to you, Chet.
News at 11.
But it's nice to interact with all of you. And we'll be back Friday morning. Science.
Yep.
So,
also, I want to know about the TV show that you feel the most guilty about watching, and I will tell you about mine.
Okay, I like that. So Friday is TV and Science Day.
Yep.
All right, I like it. Sasquatch is real. You have the button.
I do have the button.
You do. You have all the power.
And see.